I'm Nancy Campana, and I'm the producer of the Wedding Extravaganza show and the fall wedding event that are normally at the Caboto Club. And we want to welcome you and thank so many of you for coming to get your gift bags this weekend. We saw a lot of couples that were very, very excited about their upcoming weddings, and a lot of couples with a lot of questions as well. We will be able to ask Laz questions at the end of this. Right now, your chat is disabled, and we will enable it before we start question asking. I also want to thank Anything and Everything and Sweet Revenge Bake Shop, who helped out with my backdrop decor. Laz, welcome. Laz, you opened the suit shop company located on Erie Street in 2016 after 20 years in the fashion retail industry in both Canada and Greece. And you had lots of men's fashion experience and retail management experience. Then you decided to take your fashion talent and come back home to Windsor, Ontario. And we're sure glad you did that, Laz. So we're gonna start off by asking you, Laz, with your fashion background in Toronto, and then coming to Windsor, we know that this is a very different target market. So you have a lot of bankers, financial planners in Toronto, businessmen, and here in Windsor, we have a lot of blue collar workers. Tell me what the difference is when it comes to selling them a suit.
I would say here in Windsor, what I've seen is that they love the value for their money. So they they appreciate the fact of something that has quality or something that is, that's why, funny enough, here in Windsor, even though it has us, the stereotype of being blue collar, I see that my blue collar grooms usually always go custom because they're like, hey, this is probably my only suit that I've ever got, and it's my big day. I want my, my money's worth. I want it to look good. I want to fit good. And so they have no problem investing in that. And since they're going to have, a good quality garment as a finished product.
So
where in Toronto, like I see it more on that abundance, like these bankers and these Bay Street guys would just come and it would be like, kind of like clockwork, like, okay, I need 3, you just pick what colors are coming in, you have everything, boom, 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 boom. And it's like, there's just like a no question asked kind of situation.
So with that being said, when someone walks into your shop and it may be the first time a guy buys a suit and it's going to be for his wedding day. So when they walk into their shop and are going to be fitted for the wedding, can you walk us through that experience?
Sure. So usually I love educating. First of all, I love it since I have a vast knowledge of background in the fashion industry, especially in men's suiting. I love educating them on the piece so they can actually get an idea of not only what they're getting, but the value they're getting. And so they can have a better idea and appreciate more. So it's like right away, first of all, in my training at Harry Rose, and we would play this game. Like it was like all day, everybody that walks by, you have to do the guessing game of what size chest are they. Then you would go and ask. So it's like right away I can tell where they're going to be just about in the chest and the fit. And then you look at their body type so you know exactly what kind of fit they should go into, because obviously there's different fits. There's from like a slim fit, a modern fit, a classic fit, and of course everyone just thinks right away slim because they're like, oh, I just want it to look good around the the belly area, so take away that girth. But at the same time, they need room in certain areas, being like their chest, if they have a barrel chest, if they have too wide shoulders, like all these muscle guys, they're all triangles, like they're huge wide on top and like so slim on the waist. So you have to go into a certain fit to then see where you're going to work from. So usually when they come in, that's why I kind of try to tell them like what kind of fit looks best for their body type. And then from there is where we do the little bit of that personalization where I ask like, do you like your clothes to be a little bit on the bigger side? Do you like the slimmer, like things to fit clothes? Because some guys, you'll be surprised. It's like they have a phobia. It's like they need room. They need room in the jacket. They need room in their thighs. It's like if you were like, no, you want it to, no, I need to have room. It's like, you're not going to be working out in a suit. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want it to be skin tight, but at the same time, like you want it to be trim. So, and then I take a good handful of measurements, and then we might make certain adjustments. So I pin it so they can physically see it and see how it looks, and then also how it feels on them, and then take those measurements from there. And then we pick out all the various details and the personalizations that they do in the garment.
So I remember being across the street from you at Bacchus one night, eating, and there was a whole bunch of women sitting at the table having a little party. It looked like they were having a girls' night, and we overheard them talking because we were sitting right next to them, and started talking to them. And they were waiting for all their guys to come from across the street who were all getting fitted. So that was very cool to see, and a great girls' night out if all the guys are going to be across the street to see you. And you make that a little bit of a party when you can yourself, correct?
Yes, like yeah, I call it the Groomsmen social. So I try to want to make it the guys' night. So what it is for the fitting, instead of having each guy come by themselves, which of course, if their schedule has it that they have to come on their own, no problem. But what I like to do is create a little Thursday, Friday, Saturday afternoon, evening, and we get them all here together. I have like charcuterie boards with some snacks and beverages, and the guys take turns. They socialize, they chat, they laugh, they munch on everything, and then I just take turns measuring each guy up, and then an hour, two max, and then they always plan a night out afterwards where they go and continue afterwards. Either they go out for dinner, for drinks, or just to hang. And they're like, wow, this because it's to have them all in the same room at the same time. It's like it's so hard to do, and they love the fact of that. Like it's a great arrangement. You know what I mean?
So you have two types of suits you can sell. You have an off the rack suit and you have a custom made suit. Can you explain to us the difference between those two suits?
Yeah. So ready-made means it already exists in the certain fabrics and the certain fits. And of course, with all the trimmings. So there's nothing you can alter there, only altering the garment for measurements to make it more of a tailored fit to somebody. Where with the custom, it's open to personalization, where each individual has the capability of picking out everything, their fabric. If they want burgundy, if they want a special gray check with a lilac stripe in it, there's hundreds of fabrics here. So they can pick out their fabric, they pick out the actual construction of the garment, the fit of it, and then the lapels, the pocket, the buttons, the linings, the embroidery of their name. So a lot of personalization comes into it. And of course, in custom, also, it's always standard operating buttons. So if they physically work, where on other ones they don't. And that's it. So it's a garment that like you put every little detail in there. So it's kind of cool because you see that people, they're like, oh, this is making this unique. I want to make it kind of like bring my personality in it. So you see some people like they love, flash pizzazz. So you see some like hot red contrast threads on the buttons or something. It's kind of cool.
So you can really personalize it.
Yeah, definitely. That's what it is, a full personalization.
Laz, you suggest that the bride accompany the groom on the very first visit, and how much input should the bride have into the decision-making of what the groom's going to wear on his wedding day?
Yeah, it's obviously, for the first visit, I strongly suggest that the couple comes together. For the fact of, I know that the bride, since she has a lot of stuff on her plate and she's, planning a lot of things. And, of course, with the wedding, there's always these things of colors and coordination. So you kind of want to be, you don't want any surprises, you know what I mean, showing up on your wedding day. So just the fact that she comes just to get an idea of, really what I see with the brides is they kind of give the direction of, okay, we want the color to be in the blues or in the grays or just a jet black. And then that's it. And then after that, the guy, especially when the groom usually gets the custom, he will do his own personalization. The bride won't do any input, but it's just more or less for the tie selection of the guys and maybe the color of the suit. Other than that, which is done on the first consultation, and then they collect all the information, the pricing, what you're going to get in each package. So that's what they know. And then after that, the groom makes arrangements with his guys of when they're going to come in.
So same-sex couples may want to move into a more adventurous fashion choice for their wedding day. As well, we have many transgender couples who might have different body shapes. And I wanted to talk to you about that. Tell us how you can accommodate those special requests when same-sex couples or a transgender person walks into your store and is getting married and wants to look great on their wedding day.
In the past, I've accommodated a few same-sex couples, and it's great that they love the possibility that I have the custom program where I can make those alterations and customize it to their body to make sure it's the best fit for their body type. Because let's remember that a shoulder has construction, and with the custom program, we could go to a full deconstructed, which means no shoulder pad, so it's softer and hugs the body better. And that's where it drapes a little bit nicer, especially for women. And then also the fact that we can go larger in certain chest sizes and the waist, and then create that silhouette we want in that midsection. And the pants with the same thing, we can have them to do more of that, like a bell, like more of a fuller pant, or then we can do more of that Audrey Hepburn look, because I can have certain capabilities with the pattern, but then once it comes in, I then by myself, I can do extra pinning, and so we can alter it even further to have the finished product that we want. So I find that they love the fact that the actual fit is that they have the capability to find the fit that they want, and also that the actual fabrics, because with the tuxedo category, I have a lot of, we call them fancies, which are tone on tone, or even some like yakkers or flowers, because they're a tuxedo or a smoking jacket is supposed to have a little bit more pizzazz, and they love that fact. So they've picked some cool fabrics, and sometimes they've even made it into a full suit, which looks kind of cool. And that's the thing, that they bring out, they're more of their personality and stuff like that.
So when you get a group of groomsmen, and we asked the same question to Sarah Taylor this afternoon from It's Your Day, often short, tall, broader shoulders, very thin men. Does it matter what type of suit you pick out, or do you kind of have to put a lot of thought into all those differences in sizes before you choose a suit for a group?
It does actually. I'm kind of lucky, because with all my wedding packages, like the ready-mades especially, even though they're ready-made, I still have the capability to mix and match, which means they're not nested. We're usually off the rack, means you're getting a size 40 jacket, and the pant that comes with it has to be a 34, which a lot of times that algorithm that does not work for somebody. So for example, like I've had, the muscle guys who are huge in the shoulders and the chest and small in the waist, but yes, of course they want a slimmer fit, but physically their body can't fit into the slim fit. So we would have to put them in, let's say, for example, into the classic, so it can fit their shoulders. The armholes are big enough to fit their biceps. And then we will do that altering, the tweaking. But since their midsection and the bottom is smaller, we can go into the slim pant, no problem. And we can go into the proper fit of the size of their slim fit pant, where usually if they're a 46 jacket, that means they have to go in a 40 pant. And usually those guys are usually a 33 waist,
right?
Which means you cannot really make a 40 pant 34. Like after 3 inches on a pant, you kind of ruin the asymmetrical option of the, especially in the back where the pockets are going to be meeting in your butt. So there's kind of, everything's a science. That's what I'm saying. A lot of times I try to explain people that everything has a science to it. Like there is in the training that I've received, that there should be certain alterations that are capable to certain areas of the garment, certain measurements, where the cuff should be, or how much it should be off the floor. Like say for example, like a 1 3/4 inch off the ground from barefoot, that you're guaranteed to have a half break. So when people want to make sure that they have a break, or if they want to have no break, that means, you have to go past a certain threshold. So you have to go past that 2.5 if you want no break, or else, you'll get not.
So Laz, what's the lead time? How much time ahead of the wedding do you like to see the groomsmen come in with his guys?
I usually say a
The groom
good,
come in with his guys.
right. I usually say a good 3 months, but when you take into consideration that the wedding season, and a lot of people get married during the wedding season, that's why they call it the wedding season, I suggest maybe 4 to 5 months, because a lot of grooms always go, and the groomsmen go to the same colors,
And that
their
leads me to
their
my next,
staple colors. So then that's why you got to keep time for replenishment, and stuff like that.
and that leads me to my next question. What are the color trends? I know we've seen a lot of navy blue suits in the last few seasons. What are we
That
seeing?
cobalt blue doesn't seem to die. It's been a lot. It's been really strong for over 5 years, and I thought maybe it would kind of like die out, but no. The demand's still there. A lot of people are still asking for it, so they like that. The cobalt, which is more of a medium blue, and then also that hot blue, which is that little bit brighter. Like, a lot of people love that it has a little bit more of a, like, pizzazz, I guess you're gonna say. Like, it really makes a difference in the pictures and stuff like that, stands out. But I see that they do like those blues are very popular.
I was noticing last year in a lot of wedding photographs that were coming online locally after the smaller weddings, guys were going even a little more casual look with some checks and plaids, and that was refreshing to see as well.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that. Like, a lot of people, especially come wintertime, they love those checks and plaids, and the 3 pieces, and even summertime. Now that this year that just passed, we had a lot of these last minute winery weddings,
Yes.
and since they had to make everything on a smaller scale and outdoors, or even not even a winery, like they were outdoors in there's somebody's backyard in a nice tent and stuff. So they a lot of more of that casual, like linen, cotton linen mixes, of course, like, so something that has more of that cash, or even just having, like, sometimes not even a jacket. Like, the groom would be full suited, but the guys would be a vest and the pants, so it would have like a different look. And which that was kind of cool to see too, that they're kind of going now a little bit in these both spectrum. They're either going more casual or more formal, because now I think there's been a revival of the tuxedo. Like, so many guys want a tux now for their wedding, and sometimes I've had a good handful of, even they have the tux for the ceremony, and then they have a suit for the evening, or vice versa.
That's
They'll
it.
have like the suit for the actual ceremony, and then have the tux for like the afterwards.
And
So
that
it's kind
tuck
of cool.
over your shoulder there is such a classic look. It's just
Yeah,
such,
they're timeless. Like, you can't go
it's
wrong, and it kind
timeless.
of
Yeah.
makes it really, if you want to have that formal look in your wedding, that's
Right.
what it is. Just literally just the icing on the cake. It tops it.
So I want to let everyone know that I have opened up the chat. So if you have any questions for Laz, now's the time. Put your questions in the chat. And Laz, I want to ask you, what are some of the accessories that should be considered to give the groom some unique style for their wedding day?
The waistcoat, like the vest, has been something that's very unique and coming back. Like, again, because a vest right away dresses up the suit, so it makes it more formal. So as I said, like, there's a lot of people that want that formal look at their wedding. That's like that's the look they're going for. So I see the vest has become very popular again. They love all the extra little accessories, like the boutonnieres, and bow ties. Bow ties is another thing that's becoming very popular. A lot of guys are substituting the tie for a bow tie. And again, a bow tie right away makes it more formal and stands out.
So, and I know you have a great array of socks in your store too, and those photos are always fun on a wedding day. That the guys.
Yeah. A lot of guys, that's a good point, because a lot of guys the groom will get the exact same ones for everybody, then they'll do those pictures. You know what I mean? Like, they'll all put their feet together, or be on a bench somewhere, and, like, tuck up their pants a bit so they can see
And
them.
aren't yours bamboo socks? Are they bamboo?
Yeah, they're bamboo, so
Soft, very soft.
yeah,
Beautiful.
very soft. They're antibacterial. They keep your feet cool.
No
And they don't
stinky
let,
feet on
yeah,
your
no
wedding
sticky
day.
feet, no smelly feet, no wet feet. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. What's someone's asking what's the average cost of a custom suit? And we're asking the average cost.
So the custom starts at $8.95, the average cost.
And
So
compared to off the rack?
the off the rack is that same, like say for example, that exact same fabric that's $8.95. The off the rack is $6.75. So
Okay.
for $225 more, you're getting an actual garment that is cut to your measurements and the pattern's made to you. So a lot of those guys who have, and they know that, you know, they have like a different shaped body, or they're extra tall, or they have, you know, larger shoulders, or the muscle guys, it's literally money well spent because they're going to look 10 times better than off the rack when you have something
So
made to you.
this person said, I think Ashton is asking, I think I might have missed it, but how far in advance should the groom and groomsmen come in for their suits?
Yeah, I think a 4 to 5 month period is a good kind of room, because it gives a good opportunity to, again, like any lead times, if you need to replenish stuff, guys, grooms who are out of town to submit their stuff, and then also time for any tweaks, because once they pick it up, especially in the custom garments, something need to be tweaked. Again, during that high busy traffic time of the wedding season, a lot of the tailors that I deal with and seamstresses, they're all very, very, very busy. So at the same time, you got to keep respect their time frames. So
Okay.
that's why I ideally, I think a good 4 to 5 months is probably your best bet.
So we have a lot of questions coming in. So we're going to do a little bit of rapid fire. So quick answers, because I'd like to get as many of these in as possible. Would you suggest that the groom get the same suit as the groomsmen?
I personally like the groom to be different. So and if he has the same color, the groom, I would suggest to do like a 3-piece or a different tie or bow tie. But again, like I like the groom to be in maybe even a whole different color. So even like a basic black and the guys being the blue. Because
Okay.
again, you know that he's the standout. Like he's the different from the rest of the guys.
3-button or 2-button? What's your opinion? That's Ryan that's asking that.
Oh, it's standard 2 buttons. 3 buttons has been gone in 1996. Like I think it's 2 buttons.
Okay. What do you suggest when the groom's best person is his sister and his daughter will also be a groom's person? Oh, I'd love that, Tracy.
So I've had 2 situations with that. One, we put them in a pantsuit, like so we suited them up in the exact same color as the guys, because they were standing on on the side of the groomsmen. Or else, like, I know other times they would get. I even accommodated a couple of times where I made a skirt suit. So we made, instead of getting pants, I got the fabric. I got the seamstress to make the suit. But again, in those predicaments, we need time. Like they
Okay.
can't show up in 3 months. Like that's where it's like a 6 months plus, because I'll do my best to accommodate. I'm always a solution focused individual. So as I said, like that's where it's like, hey, I could get the fabric. Let me just make you a skirt, and you can wear and make an actual like a dress suit out of it, kind of look.
So you can take care of that. No problem at all.
Yep.
Just give you time. I love
Yep.
the style of suspenders. My fiance isn't so sure about the look on them or him. Would you say only certain body types look good in suspenders?
No, actually, that's another good thing that you brought up suspenders, because that's an accessory now that everybody's loving too, like for their groomsmen. And again, it's one of those things with the socks. So they do a picture with the suspenders, and a lot of people are getting suspenders that aren't just plain black. They're going to be like a bold color or a plaid or something like that, and they'll do a pic like that. But suspenders, ideally, they were meant for guys, larger guys, especially guys with larger bellies, because their pants always ride down and underneath their belly, so it keeps the pants up. But I think all body types and it makes you look more formal, first of all, and at the same time, I think it kind of puts together your outfit, because your pants are always going to be in the proper place, so you don't have to have that fear of
Okay,
being messy or something.
We've got 13 more questions. I don't know if we're going to get through all of them, but let's try to answer as many as quickly as possible. What would you recommend for a taller groom so it still is a timeless look, but a touch modern?
For a taller groom, I would say in the blues or basic black. Like you can't go wrong.
Okay.
Black for me is like the most timeless, formal. You can't go wrong with especially custom. You can't go wrong with a custom black suit. Like that's something that should be like a standard in your wardrobe.
What is your favorite fabric for a summer wedding?
For a summer wedding, a lot of people always think linen. Linen's like the worst thing ever because like by the time you take it out of the bag that is pressed from the dry cleaner and you get in your car and you go out, you look like you just wrestled somebody. So my linens always have a blend. There can be a blend with silk, which silk is the strongest fabric, which a lot of people don't know and realize, but it's the strongest natural fiber. And also cotton blends, because those are all keep cool. And at the same time, they're strong enough that it helps that fabric stay in place where linen doesn't. So I would definitely suggest a cotton blend of some sort. Cotton linen silk, cotton wool. Like there's different blends, but it would be on a blend like that. But limit the 100% linen.
Okay. So we're having someone ask the same question for fall. Would that vary for fall? Your favorite fabric for fall and color?
For fall, you go tweeds because it's those thicker ones, or and then that's where you go at a lot of the plaids and the checks because those fabrics are the ones that get prone into the tweeds, which are like the heavier fabrics. They're wool. They're all 100% wool, just that they're heavier in weight.
Do most grooms come?
Sorry, but the one great thing with
Sorry.
the fall ones is the velvet tuxedo jackets. Like that's
Yeah, you've had that in your booth before, and I want to say some of the guys on the stage, and that's a great look.
Yeah, fall winter wedding, that's sharp. Yeah,
especially holiday wedding, really nice. Laz, do most grooms come in knowing exactly what they want, like brides do when they go into a bridal store, or they think they know what they want, or do most grooms come in not having any idea?
It's like a 50-50. Like, but the ones that have no idea, they come here because they're like, I know I'm gonna be in good hands. Just guide the boat, let me know. And it's up to just like my girl told me it has to be this color or whatever, and then I'll just put it together. But usually there is a good handful that like they know exactly what they want to like a detail. Like they've done research, the Pinterest pictures come out, like they're all on it. Like,
Laz, we've got a lot of questions. So if you're okay, I'm going to keep you an extra 5 minutes tonight because
no problem.
I think this is a really comfortable environment, especially for guys to ask their questions that they might not always have the opportunity to ask before they go into a shop.
Yeah.
So let me just scroll down. We talked about that. This is from Giuseppe. Do you do custom cufflinks?
I do. And again, I need some time, but I have a company that does like custom from the initials. That's like no problem. But some people want something specific. Like I've had people ask for like, soccer balls because they're all soccer players, or Italian. So I was trying the Italian flag. And,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's all that kind of stuff. So
you can source that stuff. You just need some time.
Yeah.
How much time?
A couple months, like,
okay.
I guess 2 months at least. Yeah.
So if someone has a groomsman out of town, Spencer has someone in Alberta, what do you do for fittings for that person?
I have a special measurement chart that I ask for certain measurements to be put on there, where they can go to a local dry cleaners, tailor, suit shop, and get these measurements. But at the same time, I also am in the process now of incorporating other measurements on there that are going to make it even more easier, because if they have a garment that they actually like in the fit of it, I can literally mimic that sizing as close as possible. So I have certain diagrams that I've created that I ask for certain measurements and how they can measure it themselves on their pant and on their jacket, and we're spot on.
Okay. Can you match a custom suit for the groom and an off the rack for the groomsmen? That's a great question.
That's a great question.
Thanks,
and that's literally like 90% of the people. That's how it happens. Like the groom would come in, he'll get the custom usually, and then the groomsmen, because they don't want some, they're like, we don't want to break the bank for the guys, and they go into one of the two packages, the bronze, which is $4.99, or the silver, which is $6.99. And sometimes, what's the the possibilities that I can do is that I can actually, from the same fabric that the guys have in their package, I can even make the groomsmen custom. And I've also had guys who are standing up in the wedding that have no problem to go custom and want custom because they know how their bodies is. So they'll just pay the custom price, but they'll have the exact same fabric like the other guys.
Nice.
But
I
they
think
make it
I know
personalized.
the answer to this question, and if you're okay, do you offer custom shirts? And I know you do because I was
I
in
do.
Milan, Paris,
Yeah.
and I was standing in line for the church, and the person in front of us had a Michigan shirt on, and my husband started talking to him, and he was your custom shirt maker.
Yep.
You
Yep.
do, you do
Yeah.
offer custom shirts.
Yeah. I have full custom programs. So I could do the full shirts. And now I even have that custom shirt company. I have a full spectrum with them. I can do everything from suits. I can do chinos. I can do awesome, like cool polos that are like moisture resistant and stuff. So great for golfing shirts in the summertime. In the custom program, we need 4 to 6 weeks and anything custom for that time frame. Then keep in mind also, that's why we also need, if it comes, something needs to be tweaked, we also need to keep that in mind as well for here locally.
What color suit do you think would go well with blush pink bridesmaid dresses?
I would say the medium blue, like the new blue or true blue they call it, or gray.
Gray, yes. I think gray too. I love gray and
Yeah.
pink together.
Yeah, I like gray and cream.
Okay.
There's two
Les,
gray.
we have another 20 questions. It looks like if I scroll down. So I'm going to ask 2 more, then we're going to cut it off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send Laz these questions that we didn't get to. And then maybe what I'll do is in the after contact information I send out, I'll put the answers in, or maybe what we can do is a post, Laz. If you answer those questions, we'll post it on Facebook tomorrow.